Okay, round 2 on Facebook, starting in child's pose. Relax your jaw and your face. Really let your forehead land. Try to relax all the muscles in your neck. And if you need to bring something under your head, maybe stack your fists or a block under your forehead. And continue with that soft belly breath. So inhaling, your belly presses into the legs. See if you can feel any movement in the pelvis. It should be pretty subtle. And then exhale. Just let your bones get a little heavier. And then inhale, lift your head and chest just a little and walk your hands way over to the right. So you're getting this big stretch through the left side and really breathe lots of space into the ribs. And relax your face. Inhale back to center. And second side, walk your hands way over to the left. Big stretch through that right side. Lots of breath into the lungs and the waist here. Come back to center on your inhale, up to hands and knees. And if you need a blanket for padding under your knees, put that there. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Get really anchored in the fingerprints and the handprints. And tuck your toes so you're getting a little stretch in the feet. Start to move through cat and cow. I want you to play with starting at the tailbone. So inhale, starting to lift the tailbone up towards the sky. The sit bones go wide. And then letting it ripple up through the spine. Start to lift the skin on the heart just a little. Really claw your hands, drag your hands back so you can pull your heart through. And then exhale, starting with the tailbone. Point the tailbone towards the earth first. Let it ripple through the spine and then bowing in, really push the arms down, spread the wings on your back. So take a few more rounds, starting with the tailbone. Inhale, reaching the tailbone up, ripple through the spine and the heart opens. Exhale, tailbone curls down, low back, middle back, push the floor away, spread your upper back as much as you can. And keep going. And then come back to neutral. You're going to spiral your tailbone like you're drawing a circle on the back wall. So inhale, move your tailbone over to the side, point it up to the sky, and then over and down towards the floor. So it'll start to ripple through the whole spine, but initiate the movement in the tailbone and the low back, and then it'll start to ripple. And I like to kind of imagine a corkscrew, and you can add the head when you're ready. And then pause before you get ready to go the other way. Just come into neutral and then start like a little bit slow and kind of small. And then the circles start to get bigger. And then once again, back to neutral. Walk your knees back just a couple inches and get into some really big hip circles. Keep your handprints really strong, big, big circles with the hips. And go the other way. And feel free to kind of linger in any spot that needs a little extra time and breath. And then keep the toes tucked, but kind of pull your hips back towards child's pose. You're going to scrape your heart along the earth, drag your hands back as you pull your heart forward, coming towards just a low cobra, as high or as low as you like. And then rounding back child's pose. Really use the hands to drag back, to pull your heart forward. Feel the strong shoulders staying on the back of the heart. And then the next time you drag your heart through, pause in knees, chest, chin. So you kind of drag your chest through until it finds a good place to land. Keep your bum reaching up, reach your chin forward, pull the hands back just a little so they're more in line with your chest, and really lift the shoulders on the back. I like to bend my knees and kind of roll the ankles, that's optional. And then you'll keep, from here actually push, do like a push up, and then round back child's pose. We'll do one more of those. Inhale, kind of scoop through, pause, knees, chest, chin. Shoulders pulling back, hands kind of slide back just a little, reach your chin forward, and then push, strong arms, push straight up and back. Whew. And then back to hands and knees. Tuck your toes, push your hands down and forward, push your feet down and back, and just lift and hover the knees. Pull the ribs into the body, feel your belly muscles moving up towards the spine and down towards the legs and wide to the sides of the room. And then leading with your tailbone, reach your bum all the way back, downward facing dog. So nice strong legs and hands and arms. Reach your bum nice and high and have any little wiggle that you like to have. Bending one knee and the other. Maybe letting your hips kind of sway side to side. First downward dog of the morning, maybe. Walk your hands to your feet, forward fold at the back of your mat. So you're bending your knees as much as you need to in order to touch the floor. Just let your head dangle. And you might like to have blocks here under your hands. Bring your hands to the outer shins. And you're going to hug really strong with your arms, hug the shins towards each other. So really strong arm muscles, hugging the shins in, and you resist that by pushing your shins wide. And also try to reach the sit bones up to the sky. And then come halfway up. You can have fingers on the floor or keep them on your shins. Pull the heart forward, nice big inhale. Exhale, fold all the way in, squeeze in again with the shins. You hug in, push your shins wide. See if you can bow a little more. One more like that. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, bow in, squeeze the shins, push the shins wide into the hands, reach your bum up even more, let your neck be long. Come halfway up, inhale. And then this time, hands behind on the calves. Push the calves forward as you push your shins back into the hands. And then unwind that. Walk your hands forward to plank pose. Lower down slow with control, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And have a little rock on the hips, kind of lean to one side. Go both ways. Rock side to side, maybe look over your shoulder. Keep the belly strong. Come all the way down, exhale. And interlace the fingers at the low back, or hook your thumbs. Or some of you might like to have a strap here. Keep the legs and hips down. Roll the shoulders on the back. Lift your heart. Squeeze the muscles on the back. Lift the hands off the hips. Try not to lock your elbows. Keep the arms strong. And then keep the hips down and lean to the right. Pull the left shoulder back. Let the head lean back. Come back to center. Inhale. Nice strong belly. Lift your chest. Exhale, other side. Keep the hips down. Just trying to get in the upper back. Shoulders. Come back to center. Optional to lift the legs. Take everything up. Big inhale. And exhale. Give yourself a rest. Relax the shoulders. Bring the face to the floor. Maybe you make a pillow with your hands and wiggle the hips. Tuck the toes, bring the hands next to the ribs, pull the shoulders up to the sky, and you're gonna hover the torso. So nice deep breath in, push down into the hands, super strong, and just 1 inch, you try to lift the torso, and then put it down. Super, super challenging, trying not to drop the shoulders, and we'll just do one more. So you pick everything up as high as you can, knees, chest, and shoulders, and then I get the heaviest part of my body. Hover, and then keep going to plank, and then big stretch, downward dog. Spread the fingers and toes, reach the hips nice and high, relax your jaw. Take your left leg up to the sky, bend the knee, and open the hip. Keep this right arm bone lifting up to the sky. Try not to twist your chest. Keep the chest parallel to the floor and really push the foot away from you. And then slowly step that left foot forward between the hands, lunge. Take your first breath to find your shape. Lift your back thigh bone nice and strong. Pull the heart forward. Blocks under the shoulders are great right here. And then we'll do a little flow. So it's the back knee down. Inhale, lift the heart. And then exhale, lift the back knee and bow in. Pull the hips back. Inhale, knee down, open the heart. Exhale, back knee lifts. Pull the hips back, pull the toes back. Stretch the legs. One more. Inhale, back knee down. Open the heart. Exhale, bow. Good. Come back to your lunge. Keep the back knee lifted. Take that back foot parallel to the edge of the mat. Make sure this front knee stays super stable and pointing forward. So we really want to make sure this whole shin bone stays right in the center of the ankle. So hands right here under your chest. Some of you can walk your hands forward and away from you. Some of you can go a little bit longer in your stride. You scooch the back foot back. And you're going to play with sticking your butt out, kind of behind you, and then wrapping it under. Stick your tailbone out. Wrap it under, and really try to feel the pelvis, the work in the pelvis. Don't let this knee move too much. And then we're going to lunge back and forth this way. So inhale, bending into this front leg, left side. Exhale, bend into the back leg. Make sure the knee points to the side. So front knee points forward. Back knee points to this side. And you can use your hands, walk forward, walk back. You can go a little bit deeper. Some of you might like to lift the heel and let your sit bone come all the way to that heel. So just play with it, but go slow so you're working stability around the knee so you can get more into the hips. And then from here, make your way to downward facing dog at the top of the mat. No rush getting there. Step back, downward dog. Let's take that first breath to feel the difference in the hips. And then make your way through vinyasa, come forward to plank. Take your time, chaturanga, knees up or down. Inhale into your back bend, a cobra, an up dog, a sphinx pose, a locust. And then down dog when you're ready. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Right leg up to the sky. Inhale, nice and strong. Bend the knee, open the hip. Chug if you dropped your left shoulder. Pull that whole left arm bone up towards the sky. Pull the ribs into the body, and from behind the ribs, push the foot away. And then slowly bring it back to new parallel and step that right foot all the way through to your lunge. First breath, you're just arriving in your shape. Nice strong back thigh bone. Trying to work this front thigh towards the floor, back thigh towards the sky. Then the back knee comes down. Inhale, open the heart, low lunge. Exhale, pyramid variation. Lift the back knee, pull the right toes back, stretch through the legs. 2 more, inhale. Just go with your breath, exhale. Come back to the lunge, keep the back knee lifted. The back heel comes down so it's parallel-ish to the mat. And both hands are right under your chest here. Just checking this front knee, make sure it's nice and stable. And then you stick your butt out, wrap it under. Stick it out, wrap it under. And notice if this knee wants to move a lot, do your best to keep it pretty still. And then if you like to walk more on that diagonal to the left, and then it's a lunge back and forth. So lunging forward into that front knee, back knee moves to the side. And just take your hands with you to the back of the mat, however it feels good to you. Just checking front knee stays pointing towards the front toes. Back knee stays pointing towards the back toes. And if you want to go a little deeper, lifting the heel is fine, or even leaving that heel down, play. And when you feel ready, walk yourself to the top of the mat. Step your back foot forward into a squat. I'm going to face you. So squat at the top of your mat. So nice strong legs. This is a really good ankle strengthening and knee strengthening pose if you're doing it with integrity. So really working the feet. I'm pushing the big toe down. I'm trying to keep the arches lifted. If it's not working to come this low, a block under your bum to sit on, like a block right here, is a really nice version. You can also be here, like elbows on the thighs, if it's too much for your knees to be bent that much. So the first breath, you just kind of wiggle and arrive. We'll take it into a twist. Take your left arm open out to the side, right hand on your thigh, Open your heart, big inhale. Some of you might like to open your arm up to the sky, right arm. And some of you might like to play with the bind, where you turn your left arm bone inward and that top arm bone inward, and you try to clasp back there. My shoulders don't love that. So be really gentle with your shoulders, and maybe you get close, but can't grab, and that's fine too. Okay, switch sides, big inhale. Right arm in front, left hand on the thigh, or if you like to take it up to the sky. But really think more about opening the chest. That's why I like to have hand on the thigh first. It helps me open the chest and shoulder, rather than having the shoulder roll in, but I'm getting my arm up. So really open the chest, let the head lean back. Big breath. Get ready to come to center, inhale. Pushing strong through the legs and just hovering like an inch. Feel the strength in the quads and the hamstrings, and then kind of rest. We'll do that one more time. Push, nice strong legs, lift the heart. And then keep going all the way to stand. Push, 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 push. Woo! Bring your hands to your hips. Take your feet kind of wide. Really big circles with the hips. Should feel good after that. Go both ways. And then step your feet a little bit closer, some big shoulder rolls. Both ways. And then standing tall. The shoulders on the back of the heart, mountain pose. And just really gentle neck rolls. So bring your right ear towards the shoulder. And we'll just do like a half circle. So you're slowly bringing your chin towards the chest. Keep the heart lifted. And then the left ear towards the left shoulder. And then go back to center. Chin to chest. Keep lifting the heart. Keep the shoulders on the back plane of the body. Feel free to pause if you find a spot you're like, oh, I need to stay there a little bit longer. For me, it's kind of like this diagonal part. And if you do like to do a full neck circle, one way to do it is think about you're drawing a circle with your chin on the front of the room. So you don't pinch your neck back so much. It keeps the back of the neck long. And if you are someone who does like to drop the head back, get the shoulders back first, and that can really help with the comfort. And just make sure you go both ways. Try not to lock the knees. And when you feel like you've had enough, just kind of let your head slowly arrive, balancing back in neutral. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Take this time to try to check in with the low belly again. Relax the belly, soft belly as you inhale. Notice if your pelvic tilts just a little as your heart lifts. And then exhale. Let your hands give your body a hug. Just feel what happens in your pelvis and your heart. All right, we're going to do a little balance right here. So gently open your eyes if they were closed. Look down at your feet. Lift and spread the toes. So inhale, shift your weight to the left. Pick up your right leg, flex the foot, and just play with big circles with this hip. So taking the knee nice and down and wide and around, and you can bend this bottom leg so you can get bigger in your pelvis and your circles. That's fine. Find to hold onto a wall. Go the other way. Good. Come back to center, so the knees are right in front of you. Flex the foot, and then externally rotate your femur bone. Internally rotate your femur bone. Keep this external rotation. Bring the ankle to the thigh. So standing figure four, flex this foot. Cross your wrists. Bring the hands to the upper thighs here. And as you kind of sit back like you're sitting in chair, you're going to wrap your inner thighs down and push them apart. And let that bottom knee bend like you're sitting back in a chair. Yeah. So for me, I can get my forearms down and I kind of push my forearms into the thighs to help open my chest. And then some of you can keep going to the floor. So this is where a block would be helpful. Under the right hand. The left hand comes to the foot here. Push really strong into the bottom of the foot. And from this right hip, push through the leg into the hand. And then here, you might be able to fold a little deeper. So you do start to lift the hips, reach your sit bones up and wide. Your chest eventually gets closer to the shin. And the more push and pull you have on the hand and the foot and the leg, you should feel it deeper in the hip there. And then nice strong legs. Inhale to lift your chest. Put that right foot down. Just take a second to shake it out. Whew. We'll go into the second side right here. So lift and spread the toes. Just start with the big knee circles. So right foot down, left leg up, if you're following me. Or just make sure you do your other side. And then bring the knee back to center. Flex the foot. Externally rotate, really feel it come from the femur bone. And just see where your foot and your lower leg follow. Keep it external. Bring the heel to the right above the knee. Bend that bottom leg a little bit like you're trying to reach a chair. Cross the wrists. Grab the upper thighs, roll them down, and push them apart. And then the block goes under the left hand, right hand on the foot. Push strong. I really want to see your arm muscles working. Outer hip pushes into the hand. See if you can reach your hips a little higher. Don't ever lock the knee though. So from the side, I'm trying to reach my bum up. If I were just to straighten the leg, my back would round. So I'm really trying to work the hips and the pelvis, not my back. Make your legs strong, come up to center, inhale. Left foot down, pause and feel. Big inhale. Long exhale. Just checking in, notice sensation in the body. Notice your breath, your heartbeat. And then make your way to the top of the mat. Lift and spread the toes. Stretch the arms up on your in-breath. Fold on your exhale. Bow all the way in. Come halfway up, inhale, pull the heart through the arms. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Pull the left knee into the left armpit. Drop the knee down to the wrist, over to the right wrist, up to the right armpit. So you're drawing a square. Do it again. Down to the wrist, wrist, armpit, armpit. One more, wrist, wrist, armpit, armpit. And then do that internal rotation we did when we were standing. External, in, external, stay there, step through pigeon. So left shin forward, let the back knee come down. Let's kind of do these body rolls or this wave with the body. So inhale, open the heart. Exhale, bend the elbows wide as you just drape over the thigh. Nice and slow. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, fold over the leg. If you want to add on, you take the arms up on your inhale. Your arms can go behind on your exhale or here. Let's take one or two more really powerful legs as you lift up. Exhale, just like a wave melt. And then take an extra breath or two in a place you want to pause. So maybe you come to your forearms. Maybe you get a block here under your head. Maybe you want to stay upright and grab that right shin. You can do that here as well. So a couple big breaths. Relax your face. Wherever you're at, really strong legs. Pull the core in. See if you can soften in the heart. So get ready for three-legged dog. That left leg, the one that's in front, is we're reaching up to the sky just for a big stretch, big inhale. And then same leg, step it through to a lunge, left foot forward, back heel down, side angle pose. Your elbow comes on the thigh. Just take this first breath to check your feet, back foot roughly parallel to the edge of the mat. The front heel bisects the back arch. And then play with that, sticking your butt out and wrapping your tailbone under. Do that a few times without letting the knee follow. The knee stays stable, it doesn't move. And then when you're wrapping under, feel how that makes your core strong and kind of lift, and then stay there. Take that right arm right by your face. Imagine that you're pulling this leg up into the arm and pushing the arm down into the leg. And then if you want a little extra, this bottom arm, the left arm, reaches up. Keep pushing from the ribs down through the legs. And then inhale, warrior two with the palms open. And keep the eye of the elbow pointing up and just flip the wrist so the palms point down. Big breath. And triangle pose, take your time. Reach the tailbone towards that back heel without locking the knees. The left hand comes down under the shin or on your block. Take your first breath to arrive in your shape. And then right arm, reach it past the face like you did side angle pose. Big stretch through that whole side body. And we're going to play with hovering that back arm, that bottom arm. So pull the ribs in from behind the ribs. Push through the legs. See if you can get just a quick lift off. Whew. Or not. And then inhale, lift your head and chest. Turn the left toes forward. Turn both heels in for goddess pose. So really stretching from your inner thighs through the knees, through the inner knees. Hands on your thighs. Drop your right shoulder down and the left shoulder up. Stretch the legs apart. I like to do this little wiggle. Inhale to center. Exhale, other side. A little wiggle if you like. Come back to center. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach the arms up. Exhale, cactus, spread the knees wide. 2 more. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, cactus the arms, push your knees apart. Big inhale. This time turn your toes forward. Get ready for wide leg fold. Take your time getting there. You're leading with your tailbone. Your tailbone reaches up, your sit bones wide as you fold all the way in. Once you get fingers to the floor, you can let your head dangle. Take yogi's choice on this forward fold. So if you like to rock side to side in the hips, or if you want to take it into a twist, or grab your toes or your feet or your shins. And then moving through your vinyasa. So this is a yogi's choice vinyasa. So take it however, whatever you need right here. We'll meet in child's pose. So if that's where you need to be right now, take a child's pose. Maybe you take a pose that your body really wants to do, hasn't done. Maybe a traditional plank chaturanga, up dog. And child's pose when you're ready. And just take this rest as a chance to reconnect with the low belly and the low belly breathing, the soft belly breathing. So maybe notice if you do tend to kind of hold tight in your belly, which we do when we're practicing yoga because we need to keep our back safe. But it also needs time to soften and relax and let go. So when you find these moments of stillness and rest, just check back in, relax your belly, push it into the legs as you inhale. Just start to play with the movement of the pelvis with your breath. And not exaggerating it, just observing. And then from here, we'll go to plank pose. So get strong in your hands. Step back, plank. Right side, so bring your right knee to the armpit. Doing that square. Drag it to the wrist, other wrist, armpit, armpit. Wrist, wrist, armpit, armpit. One more. Armpit, armpit. Make the foot strong, turn, rotate inward, external, internal rotation, the femur bone, external, stay there. Pigeon pose, let that shin come down, back knee down. Just take a first breath to kind of find your version. And then a little bit like of a body roll or a wave. Nice, powerful legs, strong core. Open the heart. Exhale, bow in. Optional to take the arms with your inhale. Play a little more with no arms. And then when you're ready to kind of find a few breaths of stillness, whatever you did on the first side, forearms down, head on the block, elbows on the block, head in the hands. Or if you did grab your back foot on the first side, do that again. You're really pulling the strength of the hips up, not this. So getting ready for three-legged dog. Push the handprints down, tuck the back toes, pull that right knee in nice and tight, and then kick it back for just a little stretch. Maybe roll out the ankle. And then stepping through for side angle, right foot through, back heel down, elbow on the thigh. Take your time to find this alignment. Shin bone right in the ankle. Back foot parallel to the edge of the mat, and then you do that. Stick your bum out. Wrap it under. Stick your tailbone out without letting this knee roll in. Check that out. Keep that stable. You're only moving the hip. Keep it wrapped under. Nice strong belly. Left arm reaches right past your face, right by your face. Push this arm down. Pull this leg up. And then if you want to hover, right by your face. And then inhale, warrior two. Keep the palms open. Try to let the shoulders roll into the back of the heart, and keep that as you just flip the wrists. Triangle pose. I really enjoy going slowly in this transition of warrior two into triangle. So just really playing with the movement coming from the pelvis. Try not to lock your knees. Your hands under the shoulders, so it's either on a block or your shin. Some of you can get to the floor, but make sure your pelvis is moving and not your back. Grow your legs long. Take that left arm right by your face like side angle pose. Pull the ribs in. That's the core strength. Keep pushing through the legs. Play with the hover, optional. Then inhale to rise. We'll get into goddess again. I'm going to face you. Turn your toes forward, and then one heel at a time, turn in. Okay, stretch the knees wide. So like side angle pose, bring your forearm to the thigh. Stretch your right arm right past your face. Let that other knee go wider. Push down with that arm. Inhale to center. Other side, elbow to the thigh. Big stretch through that side body. Keep pushing this knee wide. Beautiful. Good. And then just a little bit faster. I need a little shake out. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. Just at your own pace. Come to center. Big circles with your arms. Kind of cross them forward, backwards. Exhale, open the heart. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. One more. Inhale. And then bring the hands, just kind of let them land right by your waist, palms open. Working the legs really hard. Mine are shaking. Kind of claw your feet. Feel the arches lift. Squeeze your butt. Squeeze the bottom of the legs, the hamstrings. Push your knees apart. The hands are more receptive and soft. Really strong base. Big breath in. Long breath out. Beautiful, you guys. Okay. Woo. Inhale, stretch the legs. Make your way to down dog, however you get there. This is your Yogi's Choice Vinyasa. Take whatever you need to kind of neutralize. Maybe you're completely resting here. So when I say yogi's choice, vinyasa flow, that's a really good chance to kind of let your mind go. Try not to have a plan. And just see what kind of happens naturally when you breathe and move. And that's a great way to just start doing yoga at home. Kind of don't really think about it. Just start breathing and watch what your body naturally wants to do. And we'll take child's pose when you're ready. And then we'll go dolphin pose. So prayer hands, I really enjoy prayer hands. Elbows right under the shoulders. You can clasp your fingers. If you know you like this version with your palms down, that's fine. If you do have a block between the hands with the thumbs up. I love this one. So whatever you choose, tuck your toes, take your hips up, dolphin pose. So working the shoulders and the chest, try not to lock the knees. Reach your hips and your pelvis as high as you can. Do your best to have the natural curve in the back. So natural curve in the low back means your tailbone's pointing more up to the sky, not down to the floor. And if you want to challenge yourself, you keep reaching your sit bones and tailbone up and tippy-toe your feet closer and closer. You're trying to get your hips higher and higher over your shoulders. Or you can play with a leg up. So just take a little bit of rounds of breath to play. So if you want to play with getting hips higher so that my ribs push on the thighs, and you walk up. So I'm working really hard to push my chest through the arms, keep the rhythm on the thigh. One leg up if you're doing that, you can bend the knee. If you're comfortable hopping, go for it. Just rest when you need rest, don't wait for me. Good. Okay, we're going to come to seated from here. Gomukhasana legs. So take your right leg on top. You're squeezing your thighs together. I kind of like lean to the left, wiggle my foot more to the left, and then slowly let the right hip come down. Most people will benefit from a blanket under the hips. So you want to keep the feet pretty strong. Try not to sickle too much. And then exhale, breathing down through the inner thighs. Think about the inner thighs, like when we crossed our hands, rolled them in and wide in that standing figure four. Kind of imagine that here. If this is not working for your knees or your hips, crossing the shins is also a good hip opener. You can also come onto your back and do it like this. So just for me, I'm pretty tight in the hips, and it shows up in my shoulders. So when I'm working the hips, my shoulders always creep up. So I like to distract myself with a little bit of shoulder rolls, so you can kind of choose what you want to do with the upper body. If you want to do some side bending. The breath is moving down. If you're someone who likes to fold forward in this pose, you can do that as well. But do your best to keep the thigh bones moving down and wide and the hips heavy. And notice if one starts to creep up, just maybe back off, breathe, pause. Long exhale. One more long exhale. Good. And then we'll switch sides. So from here, two ways, just switch your legs, or I always find this really fun. My right leg's on top. I'm turning towards my right toe, which is to my left. And then you lean into the feet, lift your hips. Your feet are just pivoting. And ta-da! Left leg on top. So if that didn't work, or you didn't, just make sure you're on the second side. For me, it's the left leg. So first, it's fun to get curious about the differences on right and left sides of the body. There's some other things you could, like this side is way tighter, so I'm going to play with having a block under my legs for the first couple breaths. So always feel free to experiment. When your body has support, the nervous system knows it's safe to soften, and you will make greater change over less time. And really, I only need it for a few breaths, and then I can move it. So just be comfortable with making things up and grabbing pillows and props, and don't feel like you need to suffer in a pose. Like, give yourself permission to change it up a little bit. So again, imagine thigh bones moving down. Relax your shoulders. Feel free to wiggle a little bit. And just whatever you did on the first side, folding forward, taking side bends, being still. It's another good place to check in with more of a soft belly breath. You do want to have a strong, stable spine, but you don't really need to have the core engaged for this necessarily. Especially if you do have back pain or a really tight kind of locked pelvis, relax the low belly when you breathe. When it's more of a restful pose. When it's active and you're trying to protect your low back, like a back bend, you've got to work the core like mad. But for now, relax the belly. And then nice strong legs, inhale, kind of back out, just very gently. Might be nice to give your knees just a little rub, like all the way up your legs. Shake it out a little bit. And then come onto your back. And start by taking the first breath to arrive on your back body. Just do a couple pelvic tilts. So you leave your hips and pelvis on the floor, but you exaggerate the lumbar curve. So inhale, arch your low back. Exhale, think about curling your tailbone up towards the sky. Don't lift the hips though. So inhale, exaggerating the lumbar. Exhale, kind of flattens, use your core to flatten tailbone up. And then we'll add lifting the hips. So next time you exhale, let your hips lift to bridge. Keep pushing your shoulders and skull down. And then inhale slowly, exhale slowly, unwind. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, curl your tailbone up, push into the feet, lift your hips. And just keep going with your breath, and optional to add the arms. So inhale, arms are down, you're arching. Exhale, as you lift your hips, your arms float up and over, the backs of the arms and hands push into the floor. Exhale, float them back down. Just one more, inhale, lifting the hips. Exhale, ripple down. And stay here. Find that natural curve in the low back. So I kind of like to exaggerate the curve and then use the core strength to bring it back to neutral. Right foot on top of the left thigh, figure 4. So here you can stay. You can take a block under your foot to lift, give you a little bit of a lift. Or you can start to bring the legs closer to you. Try to keep that natural curve in the low back. And notice if you reach up to grab and then your tailbone's pulling up, it should be kind of lengthening straight down. Then you're not going to get change over time. You're working your back rather than the pelvis. So we're trying to get more in the pelvis. So resist the urge just to grab and pull. Use the stability of the pelvis and then try to get the legs closer to you. And I like to often just kind of back out, get it closer. Keeping the legs and the feet strong helps. I often don't even use the arms, but maybe you can get around the thigh or the shin. And then bring that left foot down. Roll onto the outer left hip. You're kind of in this twisted figure 4. I like to grab the ankle, but you don't have to. Just helps me kind of keep my foot where I want it. Big breath into the belly. Long exhale. Get a little more grounded as you exhale. One more breath. Come back to center, inhaling. Take this right leg into half happy baby. So you're bringing that knee more towards the armpit, the thigh to the outer ribs. Grabbing the ankle or the outer edge of the foot. Pull that hamstring, pull this thigh bone down to the floor, but also push up with your leg into the hand. This leg can be bent or straight. Natural curve in the low back. And then bring the left leg into, so we're in full happy baby here. Grabbing the ankle or the outer edge of the foot if you like to rock a little bit. If you like to stretch your legs apart into a straddle. Just again, work really hard to keep the pelvis and low back in neutral. You don't want the low back curling up. So keep it heavy, pelvis heavy, tailbone heavy, sacrum heavy. Shoulders heavy. And then half happy baby on this left side. So right foot down or stretch it long. Right sit bone heavy. That's the one that likes to pull up. Left ankle over the thigh, figure 4. Just start there, shoulders and hips on the ground. Think about left thigh moving away from you. Right thigh over time coming closer. So keep pushing this thigh away as this right leg comes closer. Rock around a little. Hold on with your arms if you like to. The block under the foot is really nice. And then bring the foot down and take it into that kind of twist. You just roll onto the outer hip. Try to keep this knee up. You can kind of pull the knee in and push it away and see actually where your body would rather be. I prefer knee kind of pointing more up to the sky. It gets a little more on the outer hip for me. But again, give yourself permission to experiment in your own body. Long exhales, relax your eyebrows. Come back to center. And take any last pose that you need for Shavasana. Any neutralizing poses, symmetrical pose, or any last pose that your body needs in order to get settled. And then make sure you're cozy. So if you need to put layers on or a blanket rolled up under your knees. If you have an eye pillow or a blanket over your body, just sort of like weight, not necessarily warmth, but I really enjoyed lately the blanket for just a little bit of weight. So getting nice and cozy. Relax fingers and toes. Any little wiggles to let your bones settle. It's a gentle snuggle of the shoulders under the back of the heart. Relax your belly as you breathe. And just letting go into stillness, bones heavy, skin soft, mind spacious. Shavasana. Breathe into the belly, the lungs, and the heart. As you exhale, gently bring movement back to the body, wiggle fingers and toes. Reach your arms overhead, take a lazy stretch. And then bend your knees, rest on your side. Stay there for at least one breath cycle. And press yourself to seated as you're ready. And sitting tall, just taking a moment to feel the effects of your practice. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And take this time to honor your efforts for showing up today. I know it is not always easy. So really honor yourself for making the effort to take care of your body, your mind, and your heart. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. May all beings benefit from your yoga practice. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. So tomorrow is gentle yoga, ball rolling, restorative yoga for stress relief is what I'm calling it. We'll also work hips and low back in that class. And so there's 3 more weeks of that Sunday gentle class. I'm gonna plan on continuing Saturday through the summer if this is valuable to you guys. So if you wanna like comment or message me and let me know that you are enjoying it, then I will keep doing it because I really enjoy it. And it's really good to see you guys, especially over here on Zoom. If you're on Facebook, I would love for you to just comment or just let me know you're here, and it's nice for me to know who's showing up. So if you're on Zoom, you want to chat, we can stick on. I'm going to turn on.